Financial wellness is about personal wellness. And when someone says they're not okay, it doesn't mean to judge them personally. It means to take their hand and make sure that they're able to get to the next day. Hi, I'm Tracy Valko, and I am Chief Visionary Officer at Valko Financial Limited. So my business is residential, agricultural, commercial mortgage financing. So we're licensed right across the country. So we have clients that are, if they need mortgage financing in the community, or if they're moving outside the community or buying investment properties, we're able to do that type of mortgage financing for them. So I've come actually from a family of bankers. But not on the mortgage broker side. So when I was working for a bank after I finished university, I was introduced to the broker world. And when I looked at the broker world, I realized that there was an umbrella of different mortgage products and strategies and solutions that you can provide clients for mortgage financing. And there was a big aha that went into my mind saying, okay, this is what I want to do, is to be able to give people options and choices and to really provide some really long and short-term solutions to their mortgage financing. And entrepreneurship was always in the back of my mind, being able to express and showcase my gifts, because I'm really good at speaking with clients and, wanting to be able to, showcase a lot of marketing that I can do as well. So I thought, what a great business for me to be able to get into. And I've made the business actually more of a community business, because I spend a lot of time being able to give back in the community and do a lot of events to be able to just bring people together. So I've always been in the business banking field. So I started out working at a bank. I actually went to university a little bit later on. And so I took business and political science, and I actually took law. I was accepted to law school, but just life took me in a different direction. And I ended up working for one of the financial institutions. And I started out originally just on the phone doing retention and renewals, and worked my way all the way up, understanding each different kind of process and journey for mortgage financing. And so the broker space was just a natural transition for me. And again, that entrepreneurship kind of spidey sense in me that I really wanted to embrace and showcase my strengths and abilities and see what I could do in the world to make a difference. So again, doing that banking and understanding it from front to back really gave me a solid foundation, being an independent broker and then opening up a brokerage. So I'm really proud of, to be honest, the 42 community events that we've had in the last 15 years. I mean, I've been a broker for 26 years, so it did take me a bit to be able to get, my grounding and understand what to do, and be able to get the funds to be able to do the events that we've had. And I mean, that makes me smile, because I never say I'm in the mortgage business. I always say I'm in the people business. It's about connection and making sure that I understand what people's needs are, giving them a voice and a safe space for them to be able to say their truth, and to have someone that's always having their back, no matter what it is. I mean, one of the number one stresses in life is financing. And for us to be able to provide a holistic approach to financial wellness, I'm really proud of. We've done a great job. And I always say I love people. That's why I'm in the business I'm in. So very proud of that. We've had over 75 awards in our industry over the last 26 years, which has been amazing. I personally won Mortgage Broker of the Year across Canada. I've been 100 global recognized across the world, and I'm pretty humbled with that. But it's not the awards, it's not the recognition, it's being able to help people, and give them a safe place to lay their heads at night, to, save a lot of lives. I have to tell you, I have saved a lot of lives. And to me, I get emotional over that, because I love people. And I think that's what you need to do in life, is serve and support people. I think economic times, for sure. We've seen ups and downs in the economy. I always say I'm small but big business, because I have a big mindset. And we really have structured the business across the country. But you're dealing with economic times and expenses. And as a small, big business, there's expenses that come with that. And when you don't have maybe the revenue coming in as much, and you've got such a big foundation, being able to support that and know you're doing good work. And I really say, we are doing God's work, right? We're able to serve and support people. I think that, in times where, you're dealing with inflation like we are right now, we've had times before, but when you've come this far, I mean, sometimes as a leader in the business, it becomes difficult. It's a hard mindset to get through. I'm a big optimist, and I know we'll get through this, but seeing a lot of businesses go through this, I think is struggling for me as well, right? So I say that's some of the challenges. I think as a woman leader, in the financial industry, we were less than 10% when I got in 25 years ago. We're now 26%, which is not even, to me, cutting it close to where we should be. We should be on a level playing field. And I'm still coming into that, those conversations of those male-dominated sectors, especially in the finance business, where you're not appreciated or not validated or not recognized on equal playing fields. And I think being able to push through those barriers, as a strong woman I am, being able to provide mentorship to a lot of young ladies coming into this industry, and just people in general, right? To be able to have that voice, to have that grounding, and to have the confidence, and have people like us to be able to cheer them on and be right beside them, that is leadership today. And I think that, I've always had that leadership. It's taken me this long to get to this point because of the barriers I had, but I'm grateful for them. Like, thank you for showing me the opportunity and the resilience to push through them, right? And to be that warrior for a lot of people coming into the industry or any industry, knowing that, what, we've had that journey and we're here right beside you. Because I wish I would have had that when I first started out, because I think I would be in a different place right now, but maybe I'm here right now for the right reason, right? So I think those are the barriers that I've struggled with over the time, but I always look at them back as, in gratitude and appreciation. And what have I learned, and what does it take to take me to the next level to be able to support people? Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, when you look at it, when I've talked to a lot of successful people in different businesses, I always say, what's the number one thing they had? They had mentorship. I have to tell you, I didn't. Like, I didn't have the mentorship of a successful business person, entrepreneur in the finance business that was a woman that understood my journey. I think, I kind of put my nose down and said, I'm just doing this because I was told all the time, no. I was told I couldn't go to university. As a woman, this is not what you do, especially going to law school. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. And you push through those barriers. I mean, that's the only thing I didn't do, is not go to law school, but that was just circumstance at the time. But I think, getting into the field and having the passion I did to give back, and saw the ability and the connection I made with people really pushed me through. Like, people ask me that all the time. What is it that made you so successful? I said, I define success by being able to see the impact I've made on people. I don't care what number I'm at in my business, or what's in my bank account. What defines me is the impact. And, at the end of the day, how do people actually really feel about me, right? What are they saying? What did I do, right? It's what you do, and it's how that you made them feel, to me, is what's successful. So really, my mentorship was myself. Going forward now today, there's a lot of women out there that I listen to that are very successful in different businesses that I kind of, I'll listen to and take bits and pieces in terms of my conversation to help a lot of people. But you know what? I'd say myself. I think more communication out in the industry as a whole, with different platforms, just like the Chamber, where you can bring women together to be able to showcase the success that they've had in their businesses, where we can bring in younger generation into the room to actually hear that conversation. And then being able to partner them up maybe with a smaller group to be able to help and support them going forward. Because it's great to have events and to be able to kind of speak your truth on what your journey is, so that you have the younger generation listening in the room. But to be able to carry forward that relationship with them, I think, is essential. I was very fortunate to be able to speak at one of the universities in town to a young ladies that were graduating from university. And that was a big aha for me, because I realized what challenges they were facing. They already were facing in university and not even in the workforce yet. And it really pulled at my heartstrings, because I thought how far we got, but yet we've got a couple steps back, because I don't think women are recognized enough of the struggles that we've had. I mean, there's that saying that for every, woman that becomes a CEO, they rise another 6 underneath of them, women, into different, executive positions. We need to see more CEOs, but CEOs of ourselves, Doesn't mean you have to have the title at a company, but just have that mindset. What a different world it would be, right? I mean, we have truly different gifts that we can bring to the table to help a lot of companies get successful. Leadership today is about people. It's about emotional connection and how you can bring purpose. I have so many people in my business, in my company, that could go to any brokerage out there and get more money. But they come to ours because we provide them value, we provide them support, we listen, and at a drop of the dime, I get a text from one of them and I'm there. And that nowadays means more than anything in your wallet, in your bank account. And I think a lot of businesses are lacking that right now. I think they're not understanding the pivot that needs to be taken from a leadership level to have the balance of, yes, men and women, right, in the room to be able to give that holistic perspective, because financial wellness is about personal wellness. And when someone says they're not okay, it doesn't mean to judge them personally. It means to take their hand and make sure that they're able to get to the next day. And then you have a true community in your business. And that's what I've got. I'm so proud of it. I don't have a company, I got a community. So believe in myself a little bit harder and trust my gut. I don't know how many times I knew in my gut the right step to take, and I sat back because I remembered that little girl in my mindset saying, no, you're a woman, you're a girl, you can't do this, you're not good enough. And so I was cautiously moving into that direction where I should have just trust my gut and just went with it. So I think, and again, I always say, right, what could you have said to your younger self? Just love yourself a little bit more. Look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, you got this. Give yourself a high five and just love yourself, because that's the true gift. And I think the lessons in life. So we've done a lot of things to be able to not only grow the business, but bring awareness. I'm a big advocate of marketing. I think I should have opened up a marketing company, because I always think of what next, what can I do, how can I get that word out there that we're here. So definitely working on different ways to market, whether it's grassroots content, which I first originally started with, like bench signs and, different types of, getting my message out in the community, to then hosting big community events. That was a big win, which I continue to do. And then online, obviously we all moved to online, right? So being able to provide online information on education, support, knowing that we're here to be able to help people, provide credit coaching solutions, mortgage financing solutions, and just, information in general that would help people, even if it's not about a mortgage. Like we talk about tax time, we talk about credit repair, we talk about if you're going through a divorce. There's lots of information that we bring to that platform that people will listen to, and then they give us a call, right? I think from and I say the community within our business is we provide a lot of one-on-one coaching. We do a lot of personality profiling with the DISC program. And so that's a great way to be able to not only understand your client, your referral partner, but it's a great way to know you. And if you know what your personality is, then you'll know how to be able to connect to the next person you're dealing with, and your peers or any of your coworkers that you're with as well. And so we do a lot of intensive DISC profiling. It also helps me as a leader to be able to say, okay, if we need to hire another staff member, what type of personality is going to work with all of us, right? And that's a great way. And I think once you establish the DISC profiling, you can pretty much know someone just even by a handshake. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty powerful. And it's really helped me be able to even build my business and my referral base, because I know how to connect and have a better conversation with people when I know their personality and I know where their strengths are and maybe where their weaknesses are, so I can be able to complement that with my conversation. So some core values we integrated into the business is about commitment. So we're committed to be able to provide not only the best service, the best conversation, but really the best for our client, right? And that is from a holistic perspective. We may not be able to help them out with the circumstance with their financing, but what can we do to be able to support them as a person? So that was one of our core values as well. One is growth. So growth in the aspect of growing as a business, as a community, making sure we're bringing in the right partners to be able to strengthen everyone in it. I say we all stand in the same line, right? Doesn't matter what hat you wear. We're all in the staying in the same line, step by step, for the greater good of people, right? So that's the growth from the business perspective. As an individual, my growth is to make sure that I'm leveling up how I want to be as a person, how I want to be perceived with you or anyone else in the room, right? It's the impact that I make. It's the words that I speak to be able to teach and make every day better for myself and for the next person. So that's a commitment to growth. And then the third one is greatness. And greatness is being that every day we are giving 110% of ourselves to ourselves first, because I always say you got to be the best to you to be able to bring it to the rest of the world. And every day we're leveling up our education, our knowledge, our mindset, our people skills, and making sure that we're doing what really truly is our passion. Because you can't be in this business if you're not passionate about people. I don't want anybody here just because of a number, because of a mortgage, and because of commission, right? It's people first and caring, because the money comes after that. And once people understand that and they're in the same mindset, then you truly have that community of working with people and seeing it. And I built my business based on that. I built it based on caring about people. And why I always say the leadership I had, I think, was I was far ahead of the game than most of the companies out there, right? They're catching up now to what it is. And it's great to see, because it really needs to see that shift. But it's great that we were able to bring that into a space where, I mean, I am the number one woman in Canada right now in this industry. And I say that with pride because I do it for the people. So the best strategy is about personality profiling. The DISC, I cannot say enough about. It's a great program where you can define what your personality is. What is the perfect personality that you want for the roles that you need in your business? And then you look at the people that you're actually interviewing to make sure they can fit in those roles. And if they can't, then what is it that's going to excel them with the personality that they have? And the other thing you can do with that too is you can help be able to bring synergy to your business and your teams based on understanding each other's profile and how to communicate effectively. And once you do that, it's easier for you then to be able to communicate effectively for your referral partners and your clients. So I can't say enough, because I mean, the knowledge of the mortgage is a given to understand what you need to do from a product perspective, from a rate perspective, or a solutions perspective. But understanding people is really the holistic circling approach to be able to make sure you're tying in that client, that individual, that family, to really truly understand their long-term and short-term needs and what are they struggling with right now. Once you can hit that emotionally with people first, then the mortgage comes easy afterwards, because they've got your trust. They know you're there to protect them. They know you've got your back. And then you've got a trusted partner with you. And you do that with your business as well too. So everyone in your team and that community trust you, because you've been able to bring out maybe stuff they were struggling with their personality to get to the next level with their business, with their skill set. And you can do that very effectively with the DISC profiling. I can't say enough about Waterloo Region. Honestly, I cannot say enough. I started this business knowing 3 people, my husband and my grandparents. That was it. And now I've got over 7,000 clients in the community. It's grown exceptionally. I mean, you look at it now and it's a totally different lens when I moved in here 26 years ago. But it still feels like a community. You know, even though it's big, it still feels like that. And I can't say that about very many cities. I love the embracement of immigration. I think last year we brought over 28,000 new immigrants into Canada, not into KW alone. And that's something pretty special. We embrace people, we accept them, and we help them soar. And I think everybody here is really kind. Like, you're always connecting with people, and the chamber does a great job of bringing businesses and people together so that they can connect and be able to build their business. And then the word of mouth, and it just, the repetition of that has been amazing. It's worked incredible for me for my business and made me feel like home from the beginning, because again, you're growing a business and you don't know very many people, right? So to be able to have an outlet to meet people and have conversations about maybe what you're struggling with, what you're not, that works really well, because then you can grow your business. People. That's it. Find a mentor. Absolutely find a mentor. And you don't necessarily have to find a mentor in your field. Find a successful mentor in their business, because they will tell you stories that will inspire you, that will give you ideas, but also will be able to be a mentor for you in your business. And I think that that was one thing I didn't know, right? I wish I would have known back then, to have someone that's kind of in your corner that say, hey, can we meet like even once a month or twice a month, to be able to give you some support and guidance for what they struggled with that maybe you kind of feel alone in. I don't know how many times I felt alone in my business because I truly didn't have anyone, especially as a woman. It was really tough, really, really tough. So I think that if you can, and there's tons of people nowadays, there's tons of platforms just like the chamber that you can find people that you can really find those mentors to help you have that support. And again, reach out. Again, I can't say it because the chamber is a great place if you're struggling on every level, even if it's personal or financial. They'll have different places that they can connect you with businesses of people that can support you in a really kind manner. And it makes a big difference, because owning a business is tough. It takes away a lot from your life. It takes away time from your family. It could take away time from your relationship. It can take away a lot from your dreams. But in the end, it's so worth it. If you can push through the boundaries and have the confidence to go, you can really take your gifts to the next level and just help people. And I think that that is some really big lessons for entrepreneurship. And you want to keep that growing in Canada. It's really important. Just keep on making an impact with people. I can't say, oh, I want to be number one in the country. I mean, I think we're number one with ourselves first. We're number one with our clients, and that in itself will grow and evolve. And for myself, I really just want to get the word out. You know what? Because I've had a lot of struggle, in this business on many aspects. And I think being able to speak my truth and have a forum where people can understand they're not alone. God, I wish I would have had that. So I think being able to get out there and speak more and be in a forum of education and support and just true authentic, being authentic, right? I think we need a little bit more of that in the world. You'll keep seeing me on social media. You'll keep seeing us in the community, making an impact and doing events and getting our word out and just helping people. And you'll just keep on seeing us. I think it's adaptability and pivot. I think those are really the two key words. We've had a lot of change. We've had over 26 mortgage rule changes in the last 10 years. It's a lot. And I mean significant changes where it's really impacting people's affordability, what they qualify for. And you're talking about people's lives. Again, I always say mortgage financing, you have to take very serious, because it's providing roofs over people's heads, their families, a safe place to lay their head, memories. It's very, very serious. So when you've got changes that, the government makes changes to impact people's affordability, we have to be able to communicate that in a very effective and kind way to people. So being able to adapt to those changes and then understanding people's frustrations, right? Of having potentially maybe their dreams changed, right? That they can't afford a certain price range of a house or the house of their dreams that they want at this point. I say adaptability because I've had to work a lot with helping support people emotionally in our business. As much as it's frustrating for families and individuals, you have to think of it on our side. We're communicating the word out to people, and a lot of times crushing dreams, right? And you don't want to do that. We're here to be able to build dreams. So I think that's been really hard, especially over COVID. It was super tough, super tough. A lot of people, we had to, make sure we had some emotional coaches there as well, right? To help us through these and and that was one thing I've had to learn is adaptability. How do I adapt and pivot my conversation to be able to support people even more? Because it's okay just to speak it, but we have to actually show it, right? So doing more emotional coaching is something that, I love it. I'm very much an empath. So I'm more about human connection. I feel people more than just writing down a number to me, right? I always think like, why did I get in this business when it's all about numbers? Yet I'm so far from that, but I think that's the gift, right? That I can do that, right? So I think that's for sure a big pivot. I said I was on a panel in my industry about 3 weeks ago. There's over 350 people there from our industry. And the first thing I said is all of us need a warm hug right now, right? Because we've been pretty much beaten up with all the rate hikes that we had last year and the changes to a lot of people's dreams. Like it's tough. Like we're all impacted. Listen, we all have a mortgage too, right? It's not just the client, right, or their families. So I'd say adaptability and understanding for sure. And then pivoting in different situations, like what's happened with inflation, what's happened with our market. We were super busy, no time at all, like literally to spend any time with our families over 2 years. And then to go to a point where business is down over 50%, that's hard on the mind. And that's hard on you emotionally. Everybody can say, well, yeah, well, look at all of the business and the money you made. But there's a cost with that too. If you're a business owner, you had to hire, you had to make sure you had support to support people. You had to put processes in place. And then all of a sudden the taps were turned off because of what happened with inflation. That's really tough as a business owner. So being able to pivot kind of back to looking at a couple years back of where your business was and making sure that you're being fiscally responsible, but also emotionally responsible, right? Because people have had to lay off during these times, and that's tough. So that's why I say as a leader, you have to wear many hats, and it's really important to have some support and mentorship there because it's been some pretty tough times over the last 8 months, right? So to be able to have support and like communities like this, the chamber, so you can meet people is super important because it's affecting a lot of people's mental health, right? I truly believe that. I do not think there's work-life balance when you're an entrepreneur, depending on what stage you are, right? As an entrepreneur, you're always looking, okay, what's next? Most entrepreneurs are very creative and they're always looking for the next opportunity or how can I grow my business or connect? And that's very much like myself. But I think over the years, I've had to learn to sit back, take a deep breath and say, okay, how can I build in some me time, some wellness for myself? What is it going to be today that I'm going to change to make sure my tomorrow is better for me? Because it's always that saying, right? You got to put the oxygen mask on first if you're crashing on the plane before you give it to someone else. I learned that the hard way a few years ago. I actually crashed and burned and collapsed. And I realized it was a ambulance attendant that said to me, and they didn't even know me from anyone. They just looked at me and said, we've seen this time and time again. You're self-employed, right? Yes. Okay, so when are you going to put the oxygen mask on? 23 years old, pretty smart kid, right? I'm 26 years in the business. Well, I was 24 then, 24 years in the business. I'm like, okay, you know what? I got to start listening to this. And that's when I started to make some changes. And so my first 2 hours of the morning, I look forward to because I get up really early and that's all for me. I do everything for me, from meditation to cold baths, to exercise, to prayers, to journaling, to gratitude journaling, to deep breathing. It's become the same type of habit you do when you go brush your teeth in the morning. I even do a habit there where I'm always high-fiving myself in the mirror. If you talk to, or if you look at the study out there, most successful actual like NFL or NBA teams Why are they successful? Because they're all high-fiving each other. They're all cheering each other on. It releases endorphins, which help you feel positive about yourself. So I do that in the morning. I just high-five myself in the mirror and say, hey, I got this. Like, I'm good. I love myself. I can do this. And it sounds silly, but try it for 5 days and then see how you feel. So I journaled that and I saw the change in myself to be able to say, okay, this is better. And so I get all my team to do that. So we're all like, did you do that this morning? How did you feel? And so now it's become like a routine for people. So it's little things like that. Listening to birds in the morning. You know, I listen to birds the first 30 minutes I get up. That's my alarm. So it's something cheery. It makes you feel good. And I think it's little things that I do, little wins. And then at nighttime, I make sure I do gratitude journaling. I do meditation. I do stretching. I make sure I get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep each night. Like, it's almost religious for me because I'm so on the go every day. So I don't have balance during the day. I'm like on point every 15, 30 minutes or my appointments or what I'm doing. But that's what the life I chose, right? And I think that that's what you need to do. You put discipline in your business. You got to put discipline in your personal side because you only got one shot at it. And if you don't work on your own personal wellness, your health will be impacted. And sometimes you can't turn that around, or it's harder to turn it around. And I've seen it. I've seen it in my business. I've seen it with a lot of mental health. I've dealt with a lot of mental health, not only in the industry, but in my family, where I've learned what you need to do just to be better for yourself. And so that's my gift to myself, to make sure I'm good, because I got a lot of responsibility and I still got a lot of words that I want to say to people. So we have a buddy system with our team. So we have people that are accountable to each other for every little habit that they increase in their day, right? And then we get together as a community and talk about it, right? What was your win? What was your struggle? And how can we support you better? And so it's been great. Like, last year was a big thing about, getting fit and being very good with your food and exercise. And it was great because we had buddies for each other to be able to support them. And a lot of our team not only lost weight, but they just felt better, which is just about feeling better, right? So it's not necessarily what's the goal of the number of weight you want to achieve, but how do you feel better as a person? And so this year it's all about like mindset, like what do you need to do? So the first, as soon as you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you say to yourself? And what are you grateful for? What are 3 things you're grateful for? And what's the impact you want to make that day? Right. And so having those accountability buddies to say, okay, I did that each day for like the last 7 days. And have I done it consistently? What am I struggling with? So that support system and knowing someone's there to keep you accountable helps you keep accountable. And then you just become accountable yourself, has been huge wins, because it's not about just myself. It's about being able to educate everyone else so that they're being better, because they're the ones that are speaking to our clients, right? So I've got to make sure that they're feeling optimally better for themselves and their families, because that's going to impact conversations they have, right? And it's, again, going back, like it's habit stacking, right? So that it just becomes ingrained in your everyday, just like you brush your teeth or have a shower. Every little habit you increase in your day is a win for you, right? And a lot of times I find our teams will tell our clients this, and then they do it, and they've actually formed like friendships over it, right? So it's been great when we dial back to our clients to have touch points and see how they're doing. They've made personal impact because we've been able to do it, because we're having such great conversation, right? It's just about conversation and supporting people. Passionate, authentic, and kind. So I'm into Ken Honda right now. He wrote the book Happy Money. I'm actually taking a bunch of his courses online because I think it's just amazing. It's about dealing with money in a very different approach. It's a very holistic approach. It's changing your money blueprint by understanding the trauma that you've had from being, growing up to when you start work to where you are with your families, and how that in itself will have some trauma. Everyone has it, little or big T trauma. And how do you deal with that and be able to let that go so that the money flows into your life in and out in a very organized and a very authentic approach to make sure it's healthy for you and provide balance. Because I always say to people, I can understand people's trauma in a 30-day bank statement. That's all I need. And if you can help people through that trauma, you can really change lives. And that's a big, big conversation and coaching program for me going forward. So that's one book I'm reading, and certification course. My podcast is Mel Robbins. She's just fantastic. She's got such a very raw, authentic approach to human behavior and trauma and just everyday struggles in life as women, what we go through, but it can affect really anyone, and what you need to do to be better, different habits you can form to make yourself better as a person and how to heal through things. It just helps me level up my conversation with my team, with our community, and with our clients, right? So I love it. I mean, I'm just obsessed with it, right? Of course, I listen to the financial ones that I need to, like BNN and Bloomberg, and that from a financial education perspective. But there's some narrative in there that I always make sure I kind of cut away from, that I just know what's going on to help people and understand mortgages or just inflation in itself. But I'm more like, my passion's on more like the people side, right? So you can reach me at valkofinancial.ca. That's our website there, and you can contact me directly through there. You can reach me through Instagram at Valko Financial. I'm on Facebook as well, Tracy Valko, or the Valko Financial Facebook page. I'm on LinkedIn, on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. You can message through there. And of course, you can always email me at tracy@valkofinancial.ca. I mean, I was told at 19, I did a beauty pageant in Brampton, because I grew up in Brampton for a little bit before I went to Toronto. And I'll never forget, I was 17, and you know how you have to do like a special talent, right? Well, my special talent I did was public speaking. And I spoke about the power of purpose, like at 17. How would I know that, right? Honestly, I can't even remember what I talked about, to be honest. But I remember a gentleman came up to me, and I don't even remember him being in the audience. This is like how I think the universe kind of brings you messages, and you just listen later on in life. And he was retired from the Army, and I know he was probably in his like maybe 70s or 80s. And he came up to me, and I'll never forget, he took my hand and he said, "You're going to speak and people are going to listen to you."